Hello, welcome back to another fun, exciting, kind of sunny day here in eastern North Carolina. And I say kind of sunny because we're getting sort of the fringes of that hurricane that just ran across Florida, that's running up the eastern seaboard now, and we're only getting some scattered showers every now and again and some clouds. But when the sun is out, it's kind of toasty. Either way. You may have noticed this. This is the veg bed, or the area that I was using for the in-ground vegetable bed earlier this year and last year. And I kind of didn't like mowing up and down the rows and trying to keep the grass out of the rows. It was a bit of a pain in the neck. So I was looking on Interest one night and I saw what somebody did here. They took these 12-inch pavers and they were using them as borders to something. I can't remember what it was. It might have been a vegetable bed or flower bed or something. But I thought to myself, that might not be such a bad idea. So I went ahead and I placed an order for 60 of these pavers. I used 56 here and I have a few others scattered holding down the weed fabric. So what I did was I simply laid out the fabric. I say simply, it was a bit of a challenge with the wind blowing, but I eventually got the fabric all put down. I used various bricks and stones that I had to help hold it down in places because it is, again, a bit windy. These stones are not going to be cemented in. They're not going to be permanently in place because I may move them around a bit. In case you're wondering, the bed right now is approximately 14 feet by 34. There should be plenty of bed space to do pumpkins, melons, squash, corn. I wanted to try corn again next year. I wanted to try corn this year, but by the time I got around to planting, it was going to be too late. So corn, I want to try corn again. But this will also give me a nice edge to turn around and mow and weed trim. And again, just help keep the grass out of vegetable beds. Now, grass will still pop up in little bits and pieces, but hopefully we can keep the grass out. This weed fabric will not stay here. The weed fabric is only here just for the next 5 months or so to kill back the grass, kill back weeds, knock it all back. Then what I'll probably wind up doing is putting down a layer of cardboard, or since it's such a large area to cover, I may wind up getting myself one of those construction paper rolls, putting that down, compost on top of that, and plant into that. So yeah, this is the big change that's happened to the veg garden. I'm going to do an updated drawing on my website, growinggreenfinger.com. Look under garden. I have a couple of drawings there and explanations about what's going on. I will be updating that as obviously as the garden changes. So I'll be doing a lot of updates this winter because quite a few things have changed, especially here in the veg garden. I didn't expect to be making so many changes so quickly. This is my second year here in North Carolina, and I've made quite a few changes that I didn't plan on quite making yet, but I've made them. So 2023 is going to be my third year here. Things are going to hopefully settle down in the veg garden, but the things will continue to change elsewhere in the garden. Also, if you're wondering about this is one of my 2 lemon trees, and let me show you the other one. The other change that was made was incorporating or bringing the 2 lemon trees off of the deck, and the orange tree as well. The orange tree is in front of the greenhouse right now. Not going to share that at this moment. These 2 lemon trees, they're both the same Myers lemons trees, and I decided to put them on paving stones out here on the corners. Slightly more decorative touch to the veg garden. Also, my thought process is going down the road is to turn around and continue to add more paving stones with more large potted plants on them, such as orange trees or something else that I can keep in a pot, overwinter in the greenhouse, and just simply move back out here with a hand truck come the springtime. Yes, these 2 will be going into the greenhouse because last year they got bit pretty bad by frost and an ice storm. And though they're supposed to be hardy to the cold temperatures we get here in eastern North Carolina, they didn't fare so well. So they got really knocked back. I'm not sure why that one's yellowing more than that one. So if you have any clues or hints or tips, please leave those comments below. But either way, they'll both be going into the greenhouse for the winter. Comes early spring, I will be repotting that one for sure. This one's going to get a little bit of a repot too. Same size pot. I'll just put some fresh potting mix in there. And then they'll be going in their places for the year. Who knows? I may even get lemons next year. That would be actually be really, really, really awesome. That's kind of why I'm growing lemon trees, is to get lemons. Let's get on to the other thing we're doing today. I'm going to be planting up these 2 pots with bulbs. And I want to throw this out as a challenge to all of you viewers out there. Whether you're a new gardener, you've never gardened before, try growing bulbs this year. Tulips, daffodils, hyacinth, doesn't matter. If you go to any of your big box stores or your garden center, you should be able to find them nowadays. You can actually get some really good deals online with online sellers right now because they're trying to get rid of their stock. They don't want to carry it through the winter. People are buying bulbs to plant in the fall now, so they all come up in early spring. That being said, you can plant bulbs in the ground as long as you can work the ground essentially. Not all the bulbs need as much cold as others do. Bulbs like alliums, for instance, don't need much cold. I have alliums growing in the garden right now that I planted last fall. They came up in the spring, or the summer I should say. They were wonderful. They're actually trying to come up now, which is again wonderful, but of course the first frost or freeze that we get will probably knock them back, which is fine. They'll repop up in the spring. I am going to be planting, like I said, a few types of bulbs today. Three different types of bulbs. Let's start off with the most common. Planting bulbs is stupid simple. Anybody can plant a bulb. You don't need a green thumb. The whole green thumb / finger thing is a myth. I keep saying that. I don't, but people keep perpetrating this myth of, oh, you must have a green finger. You don't. No. Some basic rules when it comes to planting bulbs. Pointy side up, root side down, twice the depth of the bulb. That's it. Again, I'm going to be planting up a series of bulbs here. So let's plant up the first one, which is going to be Dutch Master Trumpet Daffodil. And let me show you how we're going to plant those bulbs. This is how difficult it is to plant a bulb. In this case, we're going to take the bulbs. I'm just leaving the tips exposed for now just to demonstrate or to show you the spacing. Because these are potted and bulb energy is stored in the bulb itself, the plant energy. So a nice big bulb like this should produce a beautiful plant. I could actually plant them shoulder to shoulder. But then next spring, I'm going to want to, or next summer, after the display is over, I'll probably want to turn around and plant these out into the garden itself, which you can do too. So you could start some bulbs in a pot, and then you could plant them out into the garden after they're done, after they've gone dormant again for the summer. So there are the bulbs, and now we're just simply going to cover them up. There we go. Stick my label in so I remember what they are. And there you go. Bulbs are planted. Give these a good watering, and then if you're like in the Northeast or someplace where you don't want to leave your terracotta pots out in the snow or the extreme cold because they'll break, you can put the pot in the garage. You can put the pot on a back deck, someplace where it's going to be sheltered and it won't get too wet. Most bulbs don't like to be drowning in water, so again, you don't want to keep them someplace where where they'll get too wet. Come the springtime, if you did plant out in a pot, put them someplace sunny and warm, and then within a few weeks, you're going to have flowers. The next one I'm going to plant up is, I think I'm going to do the blue alliums. So these are only, they're going to get, they say it's 16 inches tall. I don't know how true that is, but again, same premise. Now with these, let me show you. See how small that is? Hopefully that's in focus. I think that's in focus. But there's the pointy side. There's the root side. Since these are so small and they're going to be easy to push into the potting soil, I'm just going to push them in. So I have 20 of these. Push that in. And I'm just going to try to space these out around the pot. I do have a few bulbs which are squishy. So a squishy bulb is a no good bulb. It means it's rotten on the inside. Will never grow. So you can just take those, throw them out. This is what the blue allium is going to look like. The other thing you may want to consider when you put these pots out, because in the springtime you're going to get spring showers, and that's fine. Again, that's why you want to use potting soil. It's a looser mixture. It'll allow the water to drain through. Make sure your pot has a hole on the bottom, but it's advisable that you place your pot someplace where those holes are not going to be drained. One of the things you can do is buy pot feet. The little terracotta pot feet, and your pots sit on them. And what that does is just keeps that bottom drain hole open and allows the water out. The lemon trees that I have outside the greenhouse here, they're all up on pot feet because they have a paver beneath them. And if I put the pot down the water will hit that paver and then basically stop. It's not a watertight seal, but the water can back up in the pot if we get a lot of rain. You don't want that. So just put the pot feet underneath. And you don't need to use pot feet. If you don't want to spend the money on pot feet, take some sticks, just stick them underneath the pot. Bricks, you could use bricks too. If you have some old paving bricks laying around or something, you can put them underneath the pot. Again, just don't block that underneath hole. But it's just to raise the pot up to allow the drainage out. The last bunch of bulbs I'm going to plant up today are blue muscari. So typically muscari or grape hyacinth are purple. These are supposed to be more blue. And I'm just going to plant these all around the edge. Pointy side up. You don't have to do a circular pattern if you don't want to. You could do rows, you could do whatever you want. I think the important thing is here is that you're going to want your bulbs to, again, be pointy side up. And you want the soil depth to be twice the height of the bulb. So if this is the bulb here, that's what you want essentially. Minimum. You can go deeper, but I wouldn't plant them a foot deep. There we go. So that's it. That's all I'm going to do for today for this video. I have other things I obviously have to do in the garden, but I'll hold off till next week. Again, it's supposed to be scattered showers throughout the day. In fact, it's getting cloudy again, so we're probably going to get another rain soak here in a bit. The things are blowing away on me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon to be reminded of when I do post up a new video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm and lets me know what you guys like or don't like. I think that's about it for today. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.